Have you ever paused and wondered, is reality truly as you perceive it? Look around you, the chair you're sitting on, the dim glow from your screen, the gentle breath passing through your chest, everything seems so real, so tangible. You are an individual, separate from the world out there. The trees by the window, the passers-by, and the distant universe with its billions of twinkling stars, each seems to have its own place, bound by the invisible threads of space and time. But what if I told you it's all just a veil? An illusion woven by your own mind? Reality, as you know it, isn't the fixed picture you've always trusted. It's more like a dream, where everything feels certain until you wake up. And today, I invite you to peek through that veil, to glimpse a deeper truth, a truth modern science is beginning to touch, yet one the human soul has whispered about for thousands of years. It's the story of quantum entanglement, a phenomenon so wondrous that even Albert Einstein, the greatest mind of the 20th century, called it spooky action at a distance. But this isn't just a physical discovery. It's the key to unlocking the door to the true nature of consciousness, of you. Imagine you're holding a coin. You flip it, and as it spins in the air, it could be heads or tails, but you don't know yet. Now, picture two tiny particles, smaller than the atoms that make up your body. When these particles become entangled, they form a strange pair. If you touch one, causing it to decide its state, say, spinning clockwise, the other, even if it's millions of light years away, will instantly spin counterclockwise. No wires connect them, no signals pass between, no time for conversation. They aren't just linked. They seem to be one. In 2022, scientists at the University of Vienna brought this phenomenon into the spotlight with an experiment that shook the world. They separated two entangled quantum particles by thousands of kilometers, placing them in labs far apart. When they measured the state of one, the other instantly changed, as if the distance between them was an illusion. Space, which we've always thought inviolable, suddenly became a fragile concept. Time, which binds us to past and future, seemed to lose meaning. If particles, the tiniest building blocks of the universe, can transcend these limits, what's stopping your consciousness from doing the same? Let me bring you closer to home. Have you ever had a moment where your heart raced, and a strange intuition stirred, like you knew something was about to happen? Maybe it was a call from a friend you hadn't seen in years, right as you thought of them. Or an idea flashed in your mind, and hours later, you saw someone online talking about the exact same thing. We call these moments coincidences, but what if they're not random at all? What if they're tiny ripples on the surface of a vast ocean of consciousness, where you and I, and all of us, are intertwined? Your consciousness, your thoughts, emotions, the very sense of I you carry, might not be confined to your skull. Imagine it as a drop of water in a cosmic ocean. A single drop, though small, holds the essence of the entire ocean. It blends, spreads, connects with every other drop, yet retains its uniqueness. Quantum entanglement suggests the universe isn't a collection of scattered pieces, but a grand tapestry, where every thread is interwoven. And you, yes you, are a thread in that tapestry. But here's the question that changes everything: if your consciousness isn't bound by space or time, what's anchoring you to this reality of worries, fears, and separation? What makes you believe you're just a lone individual, adrift in a vast universe? The answer doesn't lie out there. It's deep within you, in how you see, how you feel, and how you choose to live. Consciousness isn't something you possess. It's something you become. And as you begin to sense that connection, a journey unfolds, leading you to mysteries far deeper. Now, step through the veil we've just parted. You've started to suspect that reality isn't made of separate pieces, that the universe might be an interwoven tapestry. But what lies behind that tapestry? What connects the invisible threads of existence? The answer begins with a marvel, a mystery that even the greatest minds have marveled at: quantum entanglement. And today, I'll take you to the heart of this enigma, not just to understand it, but to see it reflect your very being. Picture yourself standing before a cosmic stage, where particles tinier than light, tinier than time, perform an inexplicable dance. Two particles, born in a singular moment, become entangled. They're not just friends, not just partners, they're one, in a way our minds struggle to grasp. If you nudge one, making it spin one way, the other, even if it's on the far side of the galaxy, will instantly spin in perfect correspondence. No wires, no signals, no time to chat. They respond in an instant, as if the space between them is a dream. In 2022, scientists at the University of Vienna turned this dream into reality with an experiment that rocked the world. They split two entangled quantum particles across thousands of kilometers, placing them in distant labs. When they measured one particle's state, the other shifted instantly, as if whispering to each other through a secret channel beyond space and time. This isn't science fiction. It's a proven fact, repeated from Vienna to research hubs in Tokyo and Boston. But what quickens my pulse isn't the numbers or machines. It's the next question: if particles can connect beyond all limits, could your consciousness, the shaper of your every experience, do the same? Let me draw you closer. Have you ever felt a shiver down your spine, as if someone was thinking of you? Or had an idea spark so vividly, only to find a friend thousands of miles away was thinking the same thing at that exact moment? We brush these off as coincidences and move on. But what if they're not random? What if they're small ripples on the surface of a vast consciousness network, where you and I, and all of us, are entwined? Quantum entanglement hints that the universe isn't a jumble of disjointed parts, but a symphony, where every note vibrates and affects the whole melody. Your consciousness, your thoughts, feelings, the dreams you carry, might be a note in this symphony. Unbound by your skull, untethered by time, it could be dancing with other consciousnesses, creating moments we call intuition, synchronicity, or even telepathy. But don't take my word for it yet. Let science guide the way. Researchers like Roger Penrose and Stuart Hameroff have proposed a bold theory called orchestrated objective reduction, or orchestra. They suggest consciousness isn't just the result of neurons firing in your brain, like a biological computer. Instead, it might stem from quantum states within tiny microtubules inside your brain cells. These microtubules, smaller than a strand of hair, could be the stage where quantum dances give rise to awareness, emotion, and the very sense of you feel daily. In 2024, a breakthrough at MIT sent shockwaves through the scientific community. They found that quantum effects, once thought to occur only in frigid, ultra-stable labs, can happen in the warm, chaotic environment of a living body. This means your brain, right now, might be operating on a quantum level, letting your thoughts dance among countless possibilities before you make a choice. But here's what stirs my heart: if your consciousness works at a quantum level, could it entangle with others, just like particles in the Vienna experiment? Imagine consciousness as an invisible network stretching across the universe. Every thought you have, every emotion you feel, is a subtle vibration rippling through this network, touching other vibrations in places you can't see. When you sense a hunch, maybe you're picking up a signal from the network, not from a specific person, but from the universe itself. When you experience a moment of synchronicity, like when you and a stranger say the same thing at once, it might be a sign your consciousness is blending, just for an instant, with theirs. To make this vivid, let me share a story. In 2019, a woman named Anna in London sat in a cafe, journaling about her brother, whom she'd lost touch with years ago. Suddenly, an unexplained sadness washed over her, as if someone were calling her name. She wrote, "Is he okay?" Hours later, she got an email from her brother in Australia, saying he'd just gone through a crisis and thought of her that morning. Coincidence? Or a ripple in the consciousness network, where two souls touched across oceans and time? Stories like these aren't rare. In the age of social media, we see them more and more. A hashtag like #collective consciousness on Twitter can draw thousands sharing moments they felt linked to others without reason. Scientists at Princeton University have studied this through the Global Consciousness Project. They found that when millions focus on one event, like a World Cup final or a historic moment, random number generators worldwide start producing less random results, as if humanity's collective consciousness is nudging physical reality. But here's the game-changing question: if your consciousness is part of this network, why do you still feel alone? Why do you stay trapped in loops of fear, doubt, or separation? The answer isn't out there in the universe. It's in the frequency you're vibrating at, the frequency of your consciousness. Like a piano, each note you play crafts a different tune. At low frequencies, the world feels harsh, full of barriers. At high frequencies, it becomes a playground of possibility, where synchronicity and intuition grow common. Try this now: close your eyes, take a deep breath, and ask, what frequency am I vibrating at today? Do you feel heavy, like everything's against you? Or light, as if the universe is whispering its secrets? And as you tune into that frequency, you'll find a path to yourself, a path not just of discovery, but of becoming. You've crossed the veil of reality, seeing the universe not as scattered fragments but as an interwoven tapestry. You've touched the mystery of quantum entanglement, where particles dance beyond space and time, hinting that your consciousness might be part of a vast network. Now, place your hand on your heart and ask, where do you stand in this network? What frequency does your consciousness hum, a melody of shadow, or a song of light? The journey of consciousness isn't a straight line. It's like a symphony, where each note you play shapes the world you see. In my years studying consciousness and quantum entanglement, I've uncovered a profound truth: everything you experience, from the dim days of anxiety to the radiant moments of joy, mirrors your inner frequency. And today, I invite you to step into that journey, to explore how to raise your frequency from the lands of suffering to the peaks of resonance, where you blend with the universe itself. Imagine consciousness as a grand piano, with countless keys stretching from deep, low notes to sparkling highs. Each key is a state of consciousness, each state of frequency, and you, yes, you, are the player. At the low notes, the world feels heavy, full of obstacles, as if every door is locked. At the high notes, it becomes a playground of opportunity, where everything falls into place. But this isn't abstract theory. Researchers like David Hawkins, who spent a lifetime mapping consciousness, showed that each state, from shame to enlightenment, has a measurable frequency, shaping how you see, feel, and live. Yet I want to take you beyond Hawkins' map. Through years of study, I've crafted a new lens. Consciousness isn't just a scale from low to high. It's a journey through three main realms: suffering, transformation, and resonance, where your frequency not only shapes your personal reality but intertwines with the cosmic network. Let me guide you through each realm, not to lecture, but to help you see where you stand and how far you can soar. Start at the piano's low notes. This is the realm of suffering, where consciousness hums at low frequencies, pulling you into a world that feels harsh and unfair. Here, you might feel small, invisible, or trapped in loops of fear and doubt. States like shame, guilt, or apathy reign, each accord anchoring you to a reality of limits. Think of a day you woke up heavy, as if a dark cloud hung overhead. Maybe you looked in the mirror and thought, "I'm not good enough." Or scrolled social media, saw someone shining, and a voice whispered, "I'll never be like that." That's the frequency of shame, where you feel unworthy, as if the universe has turned its back. A step up, you might slip into guilt, where the past becomes a prison. You replay old mistakes, asking, "Why did I do that?" Higher still is apathy, where you just want to give up, thinking, "Trying won't change anything." I once met a man named Min, a talented engineer in Hanoi. He had everything others dreamed of: a good job, a happy family, but he told me he felt stuck in a meaningless loop. "I work, go home, sleep, repeat," he shared. "I don't know what I'm living for." That's the frequency of apathy, where the world loses color. Min isn't an exception. Millions worldwide vibrate at these low frequencies, not because they're weak, but because they haven't seen that consciousness is a choice. In the realm of suffering, the world mirrors your frequency. Relationships strain, opportunities vanish, and each day feels like a battle. But here's the secret: you're not stuck here. These low frequencies aren't your essence. They're keys you've pressed by accident, and you can choose a different note anytime. Now, move to the piano's middle keys, where consciousness begins to transform. This is the realm of transformation, where you realize the world isn't your enemy but a mirror of yourself. States like fear, desire, and anger, once shackles, become fuel to step forward. And higher still, you touch acceptance, where you start seeing things as they are. Imagine standing at a crossroads. One path is fear's familiar road, where you dodge risks, choosing safety over passion. What if I fail, you wonder, and the world seems full of threats. But one day, you face that fear. Maybe you post on social media, sharing a dream, heart pounding. And something wondrous happens, someone responds, supports you, and a door opens. That's the frequency of transformation, where you see fear not as a foe, but a teacher. A step up, you might fall into desire, craving success, love, or recognition. This isn't bad, it's a sign you're alive, wanting more. But desire can trap you, making you think happiness lies out there, in a better job or perfect relationship. Then, when you get it, it's not enough. That's when you shift to anger, not destruction, but a fire urging you to say, enough. I won't let life pass me by. I recall Lynn, a young painter in Saigon. She lived in fear, too scared to show her art, dreading judgment. But one day, she posted a painting on Instagram, hands trembling as she hit share. A week later, a gallery contacted her for an exhibition. I realized fear wasn't real, she told me. It was just a wall I could step through. That's transformation's frequency, where the world shifts from a prison to a stage for you to shine. In this realm, the world reflects your courage. Relationships deepen, opportunities arise unexpectedly, and you feel a new flow, what Eastern mystics call open chakras. But this isn't the end. There's a higher realm, where your consciousness doesn't just change your reality, it merges with the universe. Reach the piano's highest keys, where consciousness vibrates at the frequency of resonance. This isn't a state you earn through effort, but one you become by releasing resistance. Here, you no longer see yourself apart from the world. You are the world, a drop blending with the ocean, a note ringing in the cosmic symphony. In resonance, you touch acceptance, where everything is as it should be. You stop striving to fix the world, seeing it's perfect in its imperfection. Challenges become opportunities, failures turn to lessons, and every moment is a gift. Higher still is peace, where your mind stills like a waveless lake. And at the peak, you reach what spiritual traditions call enlightenment, where your consciousness fuses with the universe's, and all boundaries dissolve. Picture waking one morning, free of worry for the first time. You step outside, and the world feels alive, birds sing clearer, strangers' smiles warm you. You sense a strange synchronicity, a friend calls as you think of them, an opportunity arrives when you need it. This isn't magic. It's resonance's frequency, where your consciousness hums with the universe, drawing what you need without effort. Time seemed to stop, and everything clicked. Maybe you thought of an old song, and it played on the radio right then. Or you walked, full of questions, and a billboard appeared with the answer you needed. These moments, what we call synchronicity, aren't mere chance. They're winks from the universe, ripples on the consciousness network, whispering you're not alone. But what's their secret? What makes the universe seem to speak directly to you? In our journey so far, you've seen reality isn't a fixed picture, but a tapestry woven by quantum entanglement, blurring space and time's edges. You've explored how your consciousness might be a note in the cosmic symphony, vibrating from suffering to resonance. Now, step into a more magical realm, where synchronicity becomes living proof you're linked to something greater, a consciousness network spanning the universe. Today, I'll unveil synchronicity's secret, not just to awe you, but to show you can invite it into your life. Imagine sitting on a beach, watching waves crash ashore. Each wave is an event, a thought, a feeling, all part of the ocean of consciousness. Sometimes, two waves from different directions meet, forming a perfect crest, a moment where everything aligns. That's synchronicity, when your consciousness and the universe's touch, creating a marvel you can't explain but can't deny. Quantum entanglement, with its instant particle connections across millions of light-years, is the key to these moments. If particles can talk without signals, why couldn't your consciousness do the same? Let me tell you a story. In 2020, a woman named Ha-In-Hugh was struggling. She'd lost her job and felt adrift, unsure where to turn. One afternoon, she sat in a park, watching leaves fall, and whispered to herself, "I need a sign, anything." As she stood to leave, an old book dropped from a nearby bench. She picked it up. Its title was Journey of Rediscovery, exactly what she craved. Inside, she found a handwritten note, "You are stronger than you think." A week later, an old acquaintance offered her a job out of the blue. "I felt the universe answered me," she told me, "right when I needed it most." Coincidence? Or a synchronous moment, where her consciousness brushed the cosmic network? These stories aren't rare. In the social media age, they spread like wildfire. A hashtag like #synchronicity on TikTok can draw millions sharing their odd moments, from meeting a stranger who says what they need to hear, to finding an item when they're desperate. Scientists are taking note. At Princeton, the Global Consciousness Project recorded strange shifts in random data when millions focused on events, like a global concert or historic moment. When our consciousness aligns, it seems to ripple, affecting not just minds, but physical reality. But dig deeper. Synchronicity isn't just random events. It's a manifestation of resonance frequency, a concept we've touched on. At low frequencies, like fear or doubt, the world mirrors that chaos, and synchronicity stays rare. But when you raise your frequency, stepping into transformation or resonance, your consciousness syncs with the universe's network. Synchronous moments grow frequent, as if the universe answers every question you pose, every dream you hold. Consider intuition, synchronicity's quiet companion. Ever had a hunch, like knowing who's behind a door before it opens? Or an idea flashes, vivid and clear, guiding you to a life-changing choice? Researchers like Dean Radin at the Institute of Noetic Sciences have explored this, suggesting intuition might be a signal from the consciousness network. In a 2023 experiment, they found regular meditators predicted random events far better than a control group. This doesn't mean they're superhuman. It suggests that quieting your mind opens a channel to a broader network. Quantum entanglement offers a lens for this. If particles can connect instantly, regardless of distance, why not your consciousness? Roger Penrose and Stuart Hameroff's orchestrated objective reduction (orchestra) theory posits consciousness arises from quantum states in brain microtubules. If these states can entangle, like particles in experiments, your consciousness might communicate with others, not through words or signals, but invisible frequencies. In 2024, a University of Copenhagen study bolstered this, showing quantum effects can persist in biological settings, hinting your brain could be a gateway to the cosmic network. But here's the thrilling part: synchronicity isn't just personal. It's spreading in modern society, a sign our collective consciousness is awakening. Look at online communities, from Zoom meditation groups to Reddit spirituality forums. People share synchronicity stories at unprecedented rates. A Twitter user dreamed of a specific number, saw it on a license plate the next day, then won a small prize. Another thought of an old book and found it hours later in a used bookstore. These aren't just comfort tales. They're evidence our consciousness is starting to hum in unison, sparking synchronicity on a grand scale. Let me share another story, this time from my own life. Years ago, while researching quantum entanglement, I hit a wall. I wondered if consciousness could truly connect beyond space and time. One evening, I walked in a park, full of doubt. Suddenly, a breeze blew, and a small paper fell before me. I picked it up, a page from a science book, with a line underlined, "The universe is a network, and consciousness is the key." I don't know where it came from, but it answered my question. From then, I noticed synchronicity more often, meeting the right person at the right time, finding the right resource when needed. It wasn't magic. It was resonance frequency, my consciousness aligning with the network. But here's the game changer: if synchronicity is a ripple in the consciousness network, why doesn't it happen more? What stops you from living these marvels daily? The answer lies in your frequency. At low frequencies, like anxiety or judgment, your consciousness anchors to a chaotic reality, where synchronicity struggles to emerge. But raise your frequency, step into transformation or resonance, and you become a magnet for marvels. The universe doesn't hide secrets. It waits for you to listen. Try a small exercise to unlock synchronicity's door. Right now, grab a paper and write a question you're carrying, about work, love, or purpose. Then, take a deep breath and say, "I'm open to a sign from the universe." Over the next 24 hours, notice everything: a stranger's words, a song on the radio, a book that appears. Jot down any moment that feels like an answer. You'll be amazed how fast the universe responds when you're ready. And as you invite those moments, you'll see they're not an end, but a start to a deeper life. You've seen reality isn't fixed, but a tapestry woven by quantum entanglement. You felt your consciousness as a note in the cosmic symphony, vibrating from suffering to resonance. You've witnessed synchronicity, the universe winking at you, and realized your frequency shapes it. But if you know all this, why do you still feel stuck? Why do dark days return, doubts knock, and the highest frequencies feel out of reach? The answer isn't in the outer universe. It's in your mind's invisible traps, subtle cords tethering you to a lower reality. In my years studying consciousness and quantum entanglement, I've learned a bitter truth: knowledge alone won't change you. You can read thousands of books, attend countless courses, but without overcoming these traps, you'll replay old tunes of anxiety, judgment, separation. Today, I'll guide you through the mind's 3 greatest traps, not just to see them, but to cut them loose, one by one, and rise to the resonance you deserve. Each trap comes with a key, not theory, but action you can start now. Are you ready to face your mind's shadows? Imagine standing before a door to resonance, where your consciousness merges with the universe. You hold the key, but instead of opening it, you sit and study it. You analyze its curves, read every book on how it works, and think, "I get it." Yet the door stays shut. That's the first trap, the illusion of knowledge. You believe knowing about consciousness, quantum entanglement, frequencies, synchronicity, is enough to transform you. But knowledge isn't frequency. It's a map, not the road. I once met a man named Fong, a scholar passionate about spiritual science. He could recite orchestra theory, quote David Hawkins, and explain quantum entanglement with stunning precision. But when I asked how he felt, he admitted, "I'm anxious daily. I still fear failure." Fong had fallen into this trap. He understood consciousness but didn't live it. His mind was a library of books, yet his heart vibrated with fear. He's not alone. Millions worldwide are caught in this illusion, thinking knowledge is light. When it's just a bulb, you must flip the switch to shine. In the information age, this trap grows deadlier. You scroll social media, watch enlightenment videos, and feel a spark of hope. But then you close your phone, return to life, and nothing changes. Why? Because understanding is surface level. True consciousness lies in the frequency you vibrate, not what you know, but what you are. If you stop at knowing, you'll forever stand before the door, staring without stepping through. To escape this trap, don't learn more, live what you know. Try this now: close your eyes, breathe deeply, and imagine you're in resonance, worries gone, questions silent. Feel that stillness in your heart, even for seconds. Then, today, act as if you're there, no judging, no resisting, just being. Knowledge is a tool. Frequency is power. Ready to flip the switch? Now, picture yourself as a hot air balloon, poised to rise to consciousness's highest frequencies. You feel light, free, but an unseen weight drags you down. That's the second trap, the gravity of emotion. Every fear, wound, old memory is a sandbag anchoring you to low tunes, the suffering you thought you'd left. You might know consciousness is a network, that synchronicity is real, but when old emotions surge, you fall back into familiar loops. I remember Nak, a gifted writer in Dalat. She told me she longed for resonance, but each attempt was met with deep sadness pulling her back. I don't know why, she said. I just feel unworthy. Digging deeper, she found it was a childhood rejection, etching a belief she wasn't enough. Though her career soared, that emotion remained a sandbag, holding her in a low frequency she couldn't shake. Emotional gravity isn't random. It's a potent pull, born from experiences you haven't fully faced. Run from sadness, and it quietly grows. Suppress fear, and it becomes a shadow in every choice. In today's world, social media amplifies this trap. You compare yourself to perfect lives on Instagram, and lack surges, dragging you deeper. But here's the truth, emotions aren't enemies. They're messengers. Listen, and they'll leave. To cut this sandbag, don't fight emotions, watch them. Next time a heavy feeling rises, like anxiety or doubt, pause. Breathe deeply, and say, I see you, but you're not me. Don't flee, don't judge, just see it as a cloud passing. Then, replace it with a higher frequency, smile at yourself in the mirror, say, I'm enough. Each time, gravity weakens, and your balloon rises. Ready to let go? Imagine your consciousness as a river, flowing freely through the cosmic network. But a dam appears, blocking it. That's the third trap, the shell of ego. This is the image you've built, I'm shy, I'm not good at speaking, I can't change, becoming a prison you willingly enter. You may want resonance's frequency, but ego whispers, this isn't me, and you return to old tunes, even if they hurt. I once worked with Duc, a programmer in Ho Chi Minh City. He dreamed of being an inspirational speaker, but each try saw him retreat. I'm not that type, he told me. Digging deeper, he saw he'd built a shell from school, a boy mocked for stuttering, believing he couldn't speak publicly. Though he'd overcome the stutter, that shell kept him in a low frequency, blocking transformation. The ego's shell is the subtlest trap, feeling so real. It's woven from stories you tell yourself, words others said, failures you can't forget. In modern society, it's reinforced by pressure to be perfect, to have a flawless personal brand. But here's the truth, you're not that shell. You're the river beneath, and the dam is an illusion you can break anytime. To overcome this, shatter the dam by reimagining yourself. Try this, take a paper, write 3 beliefs holding you back, I'm not confident, I always fail. Cross them out, rewrite, I am confident, I am successful. Read them aloud daily, act as if they're true, smile at strangers, try something new. Each step chips the shell, letting your river flow. Ready to be your true self? These 3 traps, knowledge as illusion, emotional gravity, ego's shell, are invisible cords keeping you from resonance, where synchronicity becomes your companion and your consciousness merges with the universe. But here's the good news, you don't need to wait to break free. Each key, living your frequency, observing and releasing, reimagining yourself, is a step you can take today. Try a small exercise to start, in the next 24 hours, pick one key and apply it. For living your frequency, spend an hour acting as if you're in resonance, no worries, just presence. For observing and releasing, face an old emotion and let it pass. For reimagining, rewrite a story about yourself and live it, even briefly. Note what shifts, a sudden smile, a new idea, a lightness. You'll see the universe responds when you cut those cords. And as you cut them, you're not just free, you become part of a grander future, where consciousness shapes all. You've seen reality's veil lift, revealing a universe woven by quantum entanglement. You've felt your consciousness hum in a vast network, from suffering to resonance. You've witnessed synchronicity, cosmic winks, and overcome mind traps to soar higher. You've dreamed of a future where consciousness molds technology, healing, and humanity. But what if I told you all this, every mystery, every possibility, lies in your hands, right now? Not tomorrow, not in a decade, but this moment, as you read these words. Consciousness isn't a distant goal. It's not something you seek in books, meditation halls, or future tech. It's what you become, with every breath, choice, thought. In my years studying quantum entanglement and consciousness, I've found a simple, mighty truth: you don't need to wait to master it. The universe doesn't hide secrets. It gave you that power long ago, to vibrate at your highest, to sync with the consciousness network, to live not just surviving, but shining. Today, I invite you to seize that power, not by searching more, but by stopping the search and starting to be. Imagine standing on a mountaintop, gazing at the world below. Wind tousles your hair, sunlight warms your face, and for the first time, you feel deep stillness, not because problems vanished, but because you know they don't define you. That's resonance, where your consciousness blends with the universe, synchronicity becomes your ally, and every moment invites you to live fully. You don't need to climb to get there. That peak is within you, and the path isn't out there. It starts with choosing to vibrate at your frequency, now. Recall the traps we've crossed: knowledge is illusion, emotional gravity, ego's shell. They're not foes to fight, but reminders that consciousness isn't gained through effort. Seeking enlightenment tells the universe, I'm not enough. Chasing synchronicity pushes it away. But stop searching and start being, and everything shifts. Consciousness isn't a destination. It's a state you choose, moment by moment. Think of quantum entanglement, particles linked instantly, no matter the distance. Your consciousness is like that. It doesn't need time to become higher. It's already part of the network, ready to hum at resonance. Scientists like Roger Penrose suggest consciousness stems from quantum states in the brain, and 2024 MIT research shows these states can shift fast in living systems. What does this mean? You can move from anxiety to peace, doubt to acceptance, in a flash, if you choose. I once met Tuan, a truck driver in Nha Trang. He told me he'd spent his life chasing happiness, through money, relationships, travel. But one day, sitting by the sea, watching waves, he realized, I don't need to search. I just need to stop running from myself. From then, he lived differently, not judging bad days, not clinging to good ones. He vibrated at acceptance, and his life changed. He noticed synchronicities, like meeting the right person at the right time, and felt a peace he'd never known. Now, let me offer a challenge, not to test you, but to let you feel consciousness's power today. For the next 24 hours, live as if you're in resonance. Here's how. Morning, start with frequency. When you wake, don't check your phone. Close your eyes, take 3 deep breaths, and say, today, I am acceptance. I am peace. Feel lightness spread, like a warm wave. Then, open your eyes and smile, for no reason, just because you're alive. Day, observe, don't judge. As you work, connect, or face challenges, watch everything as a witness. If someone irks you, don't react, breathe and think, this isn't me. It's just a moment. If an old emotion rises, don't run, see it as a passing cloud, let it fade. You'll see the world mirror your stillness. Evening, invite synchronicity. Before bed, grab a paper and write one thing you want from the universe, an idea, an opportunity, or just peace. Then, close your eyes, picture it arriving, and say, I'm open to receive. Sleep trusting the network is listening. Note what shifts. After 24 hours, jot down what you notice. A stranger's sudden smile. A hunch guiding you right. A moment you felt in tune with the world. This isn't magic. It's your consciousness vibrating high, and the universe answering. I took this challenge years ago, feeling lost in research. One day, I chose to live as if everything was in place. I stopped worrying about outcomes, stopped seeking answers, and just was. Marvels followed. A colleague sent a long-needed document unasked, a new idea sparked a work breakthrough. It wasn't chance. It was the network responding when I stopped resisting. But here's the crux: mastering consciousness now doesn't just change your life. It sends a ripple through the network, touching others, shaping the future we've dreamed of, a world of wordless communication, frequency healing, collective consciousness. Each time you choose a high frequency, even for a moment, you're a creator, a beacon in the consciousness ocean. Picture this: you step out after the 24-hour challenge, and for the first time, you don't feel separate from the world. Trees seem more alive, strangers' smiles warmer, and you realize consciousness isn't a mystery to solve. It's a power to wield. You don't need future tech or long meditations. You just need to decide, now, to be your highest self. Consciousness isn't something you wait for. It's something you live. I invite you to take this 24-hour challenge, not to prove anything, but to feel it. When you're done, share your story with me. What shifted? A synchronous moment? A sense of freedom? Each tale you share is a spark in the network, inspiring others to follow. And if you want to go further, consider this: this is just the start. We could explore how consciousness shapes dreams, connects us through time, or alters our DNA. I'd love to continue this journey with you, in videos, posts, or next conversations. But first, begin now. Take a deep breath, smile, and say, I am consciousness. I am the network. I am enough. Are you ready to master now? The universe awaits, not out there, but in your heart. Step forward, and let the world reflect your light.